There's so many nice tricks you can do in kiteboarding, and to finish them off nice, you can just land blind. But you first need to learn how to ride blind, and that's what I'll teach you today. What's up everyone? I'm in my van today. I'll be spending a lot of time in here for the upcoming 2 months as we'll be doing a little bit of a road trip. But that aside, I'll be teaching you how to ride blind today. And no, it's not going out blindfolded for a kite session. It's actually a way of riding and also a way of landing your tricks. So first of all, we'll be looking at popping into blind, after which we'll look at sliding out of blind and then also popping out of blind. Obviously, we'll be going over the common mistakes made. And last but not least, there will be a little screenshot so you can take it with to the beach and go try it out for yourself. So, without further ado, let's start the popping into blind. Ride in with your kite at 45 degrees and hand in the middle of the bar. Pop off the water, let go with the back hand and look over the back shoulder. Lean on your back foot and keep the kite at 45 degrees. Keep weight on your toes and reach for the bar to slide the board around. Ride it out. Just now we had a focus on the upper body and the kite movement. In a bit we'll look at the board and how to control it when riding blind. But first for a few tips. So your hand positioning is very important. If you keep your hand on the normal place in the bar, your kite is going to end up in the water. Therefore, I recommend moving your hand towards the middle of the bar and putting the power line in between your fingers. Like that, you can steer it up quite nicely. You can also move your hand to the other side of the bar, but the problem is you might pull your kite in a loop, so be careful. The second thing is opening up your arm. And that just means that once you let go of your back hand, don't just let go, but really twist your body around. So you can actually twist your board a little bit further, and that's gonna make riding blind a lot easier. When I started riding blind, I often found that my harness was pulling me around, or the kite was actually pulling me around. Therefore I loosened up my harness a little bit so it can slide to the side, and then it's gonna be a lot easier to keep that hip twist in without the kite pulling you around and you catching a backside edge. So now let's have a look at what you should do with the board. Ride in on a crosswind course without edging too much. Pop out of the water and do a backside 180. Land slightly downwind and keep pressure on your toe side edge. Slide the board around by pressing on your back foot and go back to riding your heel side edge. When riding blind, it really helps to keep pressure on your toes. Otherwise you might catch a backside edge and fall into the water. And this sounds stupid, but riding toe side really helps. If you think about it, riding blind is the same as riding toe side. From the board's perspective, the only difference is that the lines are now wrapped around you. This makes it a lot harder for your body positioning, but the feeling of the board should be similar to riding toe side. So it's definitely good to give that a try. The next part might be quite amusing for you guys because it involves me falling on my face. We're getting to the common mistakes. A mistake I see quite often is that people lean too far backwards and therefore fall backwards with a heel side edge. It's very important to get your center of gravity in front of your toes so you resist that pull of the kite. And that brings us to the next mistake. Putting too much pressure on your heels or any pressure at all on the heels. This will instantly make for a backside edge, as you can see, and then a little whiplash afterwards maybe. And then the last mistake is having the board too much upwind. It's very important you point the board downwind so you follow the power of the kite. If you go too much upwind, the kite will just pull you straight backwards over your edge, and again you end up in the water. Sliding out of blind is kind of natural, but it's very important to keep weight on your toes, and then you're gonna be fine. But the next thing will be popping out of blind, so let's have a look at that. Put pressure on your lines by leaning in. Use the kite to pop out of the water and reach for the bar with the back hand. Spot your landing and ride it out. when you want to pop out of blind, it might make sense to practice riding toe side first and popping out of toe side, as the board positioning is identical and also the way you should pop the board. Next to that, it really helps if you take that back arm and try to grab the bar again when you twist back. This will make for a fluent motion and your hand will actually lead your rotation. Now let's have a look at what to do with the board. Lean on your toes and edge towards the wind. Pop off the water and perform a frontside 180. Land flat and point the board slightly downwind. Go back on your heel side edge. To make sure you guys don't forget all this stuff, I made an overview. Feel free to take a screenshot so you can take it with to the beach and practice on the next windy day. And that already brings us to the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If so, give me a like, comment if you have any questions, subscribe to my channel if you enjoy this type of content, and I'll see you on the next one.